Hey everybody, Austin here again with another pinball machine gameplay video. Today is going to be World Poker Tour by Stern Pinball. This machine was released in 2006. It was done by Steve Ritchie Productions, and Keith Johnson is responsible for the rule set on this game. World Poker Tour is a really fun game. It's also a very deep game. It's probably one of the deepest games ever made alongside games like Simpsons Pinball Party and World Poker Tour, etc., etc. So just like all my pinball gameplay videos, this is a post commentary, and I'm going to sort of just talk about what's going on in the video. I don't have a phenomenal game here. Like, I don't get to some of the wizard modes. Like, I don't get to World Championships. I don't get to Poker Wizard Multiball. And I sure as hell don't get to the Kiefer Invitational. But I do have a solid game overall. I think I end with like 150 million or more. One of the things I like to do in this game is to get right into Ace in the Hole multi-ball, and that's exactly what we've done here. Ace in the Hole is that middle lit up shot, that reddish shot. It's a gated shot up in the center top playfield. World Poker Tour has two playfields. It's got a mini playfield up top and the lower playfield below. Ace in the Hole is a really solid multi-ball. It's worth small points at first, but if you can really play it out, it can be worth a lot of points, especially once you get the super jackpot lit. The great thing about Ace in the Hole multi-ball and a couple other multi-balls in this game is that you can also progress towards other goals in the game by using Ace in the Hole to do that. So I like to just play out Ace in the Hole right when I start the game. And so I get some jackpots in Ace in the Hole multi-ball, but I'm also hitting ramps, and I'll sort of explain what that does in a little bit. I'm also hitting drop targets. As you can see, there's a ton of drop targets on this playfield. Those also progress towards something. So there's a lot of things I'm actually trying to take care of at one time on this game. And it's not necessary to play like that, but if you're a higher level player that or you're somebody that's just trying to look to take their game further, these are little things that you kind of want to know about and keep in mind when you're playing. You know, so for instance, it's like I'm in Ace in the Hole multi-ball. I'm also trying to get my no limits lock slit. There's a light lock target right above the left slingshot. That'll start another multi-ball, or at least light locks for that. And so as I'm playing through Ace in the Hole, I'm thinking about all these things in my head, and I'm trying to get them, or chip away and work towards getting all these other things ready. Unfortunately, the super jackpot was lit for Ace in the Hole, and the super jackpot's worth like 1 or 1.5 million points for each cap the ball hit up top when it's lit. And that's where the points for Ace in the Hole multi-ball itself really starts to blow up. Ace in the Hole itself is not worth a whole lot on its own until you get the super jackpot lit. But again, that's why I use Ace in the Hole in the early stages of Ace in the Hole to progress towards other things. But once that super jackpot's lit, you really want to go for that. So World Poker Tour has traditional modes. And in the center of the playfield, there's actually these 6 inserts. You can see them scrolling around. Those are your poker corner modes. And we are in Show the Tell. Most of the modes, they aren't worth a whole lot of points. If you want to get good points from a lot of them, you have to stack a multi-ball with them, because the timers are short on the modes in this game. But there's one, Changed Gears, which is extremely lucrative if you can stack it into a multi-ball. I usually don't play the modes out by themselves. I always try to a lot of times I just kind of ignore the modes, and I just work towards, I try to work towards getting my next multi-ball started. So when you start Ace in the Hole multi-ball up top, after you finished it, you're blocked off from starting Ace in the Hole again until you start a poker corner mode. So now that I started a poker corner mode, I can get back up to the top and try to start Ace in the Hole multi-ball once more. And so World Poker Tour is the kind of game where you can just kind of keep going back and forth between modes, and then multi-ball, then modes, and then multi-ball. Preferably modes with multi-ball, and then another multi-ball, and then maybe another multi-ball. You can literally have like 3 or 4 multi-balls stacked on top of each other in this game. It gets pretty nutty. So I just shot up into that tight shot next to the right ramp. That is where you start your poker corner mode. To light your poker corner mode, or to qualify your poker corner mode, what you do is you basically complete a hand of cards. And so you'll notice in the center of the playfield, there's this LED display. Every time you hit a ramp, be it left ramp or right ramp, you'll collect some cards. And once you flesh out your entire deck, you get points for that. You also work towards advancing a city. And the cities are in the center of the playfield. Those are those big red lit inserts. I'm working towards my third city right now, or technically I'm on my third city. And when you complete a hand and you get awarded some points working towards advancing your city, you will light the next Poker Corner mode. So if Poker Corner is not lit and you want to start a mode, then you can just, try to hit some ramps, complete your hand, and then you can start your Poker Corner again. Starting your Poker Corner mode will again requalify Ace in the Hole multi-ball. And so typically, a typical World Poker Tour gameplay session for me consists of starting Ace in the Hole, getting out of Ace in the Hole, starting a mode, getting back to the top, starting an Ace in the Hole again, and just kind of rinse and repeat. So I actually did something I wasn't intending on doing, and I actually ended up starting No Limits multi-ball. So No Limits multi-ball is the multi-ball that is prepared by hitting the far left lock target. Just below the left side drop target bank and just above the top left slingshot. When you collect all 3 locks, you'll start No Limits multi-ball. And No Limits multi-ball is actually bad for me. I don't really like No Limits multi-ball that much because it blocks you out of progressing through your regular game. I believe it's one of the only multi-balls in the game where you can't progress through the game when you're in this multi-ball. So basically what happens in No Limits is your left ramp is lit for jackpot. It's like a 1.5 million jackpot. After you collect that, you have to complete a full drop target bank, either the far left bank, the top center bank, or the far right bank to relight jackpot. Now No Limits is kind of interesting in that depending on which drop target bank you knock down completely, that'll determine the value of your next No Limits jackpot. So if you complete the center bank, which is only 4 drop targets, you'll get a 1x jackpot. If you complete the right bank, which is it's also only 4 drop targets, but it's at an angle, so it's kind of harder to hit, that's a 2x jackpot. And then if you manage to complete the far left bank, which is like double the drop targets, you'll get a triple jackpot basically. So No Limits, you can get some decent points in it if you're really good at it, but I find it really difficult to consistently score a lot of jackpots in that mode. I like to use No Limits to play it alongside modes. So we're back in Ace in the Hole multi-ball, but a lot of times what I do, and I just did this right here, is I use, at this point, Ace in the Hole to light my No Limits locks. I collect 2 No Limits locks and then prepare my third lock. So now I've got a second No Limits lock. And then when I come out of Ace in the Hole, I should have my Poker Corner ready, which is my modes. And I want to start No Limits multi-ball and a Poker Corner mode at the exact same time. Some players I see that want to try to blow the game up, what they do is they get their Poker Corner ready. They start a mode like Change Gears, which is the most valuable mode in the game. And then they try to get the ball back to the upper playfield to then start Ace in the Hole multi-ball. And I just find you can do it a lot easier if you just play out Ace in the Hole by itself. Work towards other things, like get your poker hands, progress your cities, get your drop targets so you can work towards poker hand multi-ball. And then when you come out, start No Limits by hitting the Poker Corner shot. You'll start No Limits and start the Poker Corner mode at the same time. It's so much safer than starting a mode, trying to get the ball back to the upper playfield, and starting Ace in the Hole. So what I recommend for people in competition is to keep that in mind. You also need to keep in mind that these are pretty much on stock settings that I'm playing on, except I think I have Poker Corner set to off when I start the game. By default, Poker Corner is on when you start the game. So I do have Poker Corner set a little bit, quote-unquote, harder. It's not really that hard, but it's technically harder in these settings. So yeah, I like to use No Limits multi-ball to start a mode at the same time. I like to stack that with a mode, like change gears. And then from that, once I'm in a multi-ball, balls are being fed to the top playfield. I can use that to start Ace in the Hole after I've started No Limits with a mode. That's the order I like to go in. I think that's the most efficient order. And if you're playing in competition, it's something to really keep in mind. But something that's also important to keep in mind is that if the multi-ball settings are set to hard, or like qualifying Ace in the Hole set to hard, completing a poker hand or starting a poker corner mode, completing a poker hand and then starting a poker corner mode won't qualify Ace in the Hole if the qualify Ace in the Hole settings are set to hard. What it'll tell you is start a multi-ball before you can qualify Ace in the Hole again. And I accidentally just started No Limits multi-ball again. I did not mean to do that. So again, what I just told you, I just completely botched. But what I was trying to do was just to wait, but I accidentally hit that No Limits last lock shot, and thus we're back into No Limits multi-ball. But at least I have Ace in the Hole going on top. It's not ideal because again, once you start No Limits multi-ball, you're completely blocked out of progressing through the rest of your game, which is a shame because Ace in the Hole is really good for progressing through your cities. The cities become worth a lot of points, and so once you get to your third or fourth city, every time you complete a poker hand, like, you're getting some pretty decent points overall, and the value just kind of keeps going up and up and up. And it's worth it to try to advance through your cities. Now, if you advance through all your cities, you actually automatically start the World Championships, and the World Championships is a really cool mode. You don't see it in this video, but I do have actually a couple of live stream archive videos on my YouTube channel here that you can check out, where I do actually get to the World Championships and complete it multiple times. I also have videos on my channel that shows off like the Poker Corner Wizard mode, or I would call it a mini Wizard mode. It's what you get when you progress through all 6 of your modes. So even though I'm not able to show you everything on this video, I do have stream archive videos that you can check out on my channel. So again, we're still in No Limits multi-ball. Your ramp lights for jackpot. I'm at the point where I need to requalify a jackpot, and it's not going to happen because we're back in single ball play. So there's something that's really important in this game. There's this shot called Cut the Cards, which is on the right-hand side of your left ramp. It's a extremely tight shot, and it's one of the tightest shots in pinball. And to me, it's one of the hardest shots in pinball to make consistently. But what it is, it's basically a mystery shot. And to light it, there's this little, very tight shot in the top left-hand portion of your upper playfield. If you hit that, the ball sort of goes behind the backboard just momentarily, and it'll light your Cut the Card shot on the lower playfield. And if you're in multi-ball, the Cut the Card shot will add a ball once per multi-ball and give you ball save and so forth. So that is extremely important to know if you want to keep your multi-balls going. Also, if you're not in a multi-ball, Cut the Cards will give you other random awards, like it'll light your 3-time shot on the in lanes. It'll add time if you're in a mode. You might get lucky and you might light an extra ball or something like that, etc., etc. It's best used for adding a ball in multi-ball, however. So I kind of like botched some of these multi-balls. They didn't go on as long as they could because I wasn't able to collect on the Cut the Cards. You'll also notice I've actually got an extra ball, and I also have another extra ball lit on the Cut the Card shot. And I actually had extra balls maxed out pretty much on this machine because I wanted to try to get to the Kiefer Invitational Wizard mode, which while I have this machine, I was not able to do. It's an extremely difficult wizard mode to get to. I've actually come close, but I just wasn't able to do it. Maybe if I have enough time before the end of this video, I'll explain how that operates. But let me just say, it's extremely difficult to get to. I think it might even be potentially more difficult than some of Keith Johnson's other wizard modes. So one thing I'm going to do is start no limits multi-ball with change gears. There we go. You can backhand the poker corner shot. So this is what I was talking about. I'm starting a mode, preferably change gears, which is the most valuable mode in the game, and then no limit multi-ball at the same time. From here, since I started my poker corner mode, I've requalified ace in the hole, and now I can just shoot that upper playfield and get ace in the hole started again, and then I'll have three things going together. And with change gears, most shots are lit on the playfield for pretty good points. And ideally, you want to alternate shots between the upper playfield and lower playfield. That's how you get the most points on change gears. Or you can just bash the upper playfield all day, and it goes 300, 325, 350, etc. It goes up by like 25,000 points for every successful hit. And you get awarded those shots too. So ideally what I should do is try to get the balls back to the top playfield and then start ace in the hole multi-ball. But I'm pretty sure I failed doing that, so it's not going to happen. But one thing that's good, and I'm going to get to show you, I'm pretty sure, is the poker hand multi-ball. And that's done by completing a variety of poker hands on the drop targets. The poker hands you get from the drop targets are completely unrelated to the poker hand in the center of the playfield on the LED display. So how that works on the drop targets is you're going to knock down some drop targets, and then some other drop targets will be flashing. Those are cards you need to complete a hand. Now, above the LED display, there's this whole row of insert lights that tell you like 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 of a kind, royal flush, etc., etc. So what you can do is actually try to make those card hands. So if you want to get a pair, which is the first one, there's 2 kings in the center of the playfield. You can just, if you hit both those kings, you're going to get a pair. And that will complete that award. It'll light that insert. You'll get some small points for it. And you basically just do the same thing for the rest of the lights. Fortunately, you don't have to be that good at it. You can just bash as many drop targets as you can. Some are eventually going to light, which indicates your final card that's needed. And then you'll collect your insert. And that was a new mistake right there. That was a really bad drain that could have been completely avoided. So we only need one more poker hand, and then that's going to start our poker hand multi-ball. And poker hand multi-ball is interesting because you just hit the drop targets again. You get jackpots, and it's fun. Something I haven't explained yet is the skill shot. There's a variety of skill shots you can choose on the right-hand side, very similar to like Batman Dark Knight or Lord of the Rings or something like that. Although in World Poker Tour, it's done a little bit differently because every time you plunge in this game, the ball gets sent to a vertical up kicker, which then feeds the upper playfield. But the first skill shot choice is Advanced Hold'em, which it basically gives you a free shot on Advanced Hold'em, which again are the ramp shots. And so it gives you cards in your poker hand in the center of that playfield. I prefer doing Advanced Hold'em as my skill shot. Bad drain. I prefer doing that as my skill shot. Simply because, you know, the more poker hands I advance, the faster I advance through my cities. Now, there's also the second skill shot, which is Mystery, and it'll just give you a mystery award when you plunge, basically. It can light your 3 times in lanes, which I'll explain that in just a moment. It could give you a double hurry-up, which I haven't explained yet. Hurry-ups are done in the top of the playfield, the mini playfield up top. There's actually 3 stand-up targets around the ace in the hole shot. And if you hit those, you'll light a hurry-up, which is now actually, well, yeah, which is activated right now. There's actually a hole on the right-hand side of the upper playfield that'll drop you back down to the lower playfield, and it'll collect a hurry-up. And the hurry-ups they can actually be worth a lot of points. You know, they probably start at about 1,000,000 points. They count down really quickly, but if you can collect the hurry-up right away, that's 1,000,000 points. And the values on the hurry-ups rise throughout the course of the game, the more of them you collect. And they also give you awards as well. Like, if you collect a certain amount of hurry-ups, you might light extra ball. You might hold bonus, you know, etc., etc. Speaking of bonus, there's a set of 4 stand-up targets on the bottom side of the playfield where the pop bumpers are. You can see these blue LEDs on the bottom part of the playfield. Those are the stand-up targets, and when you complete them, you increase your bonus X, your end-of-ball bonus X. Now, bonus can be relatively small in this game, but if you actually have a good game, or a good ball, or a good series of balls, multiple balls that are pretty good, and you get your bonus X up, you can actually come out with 5 or 6 million in bonus, and 5 or 6 million in World Poker Tour is a nice little chunk of points. And if you do that over the course of 3 balls, you might come out with 15 or 20 million bonus in the course of a game. Which is really solid. So something to keep in mind when you've got the ball in the pop bumpers. So yeah, the last skill shot is the skill flip. And what happens is you'll plunge to the upper playfield, and you'll have to hit that little top left hole in the upper playfield where you qualify cut the cards. And if you do that, you get 1,000,000 points. If you can do it a second time, whenever you lock a ball or plunge or get it, or advance to another ball, it'll be 2 million and then 3 million, etc. I don't know if it caps out, but on this specific machine, I never really went for skill flip because I found it extremely difficult to get a clean feed off the plunge to be able to hit the skill shot. So again, advanced hold'em is probably the best one to do. Skill flip is probably the best one to do if you can get control of the ball, but on this machine I wasn't able to, so in my case, advanced hold'em was the best one. You do lock a lot of balls in this game. You get a lot of free skill shots, so if you're in competition and you can get skill flip almost 100% of the time, skill flip is the way to go because it's kind of like Addams Family, where like your first skill shot is, it's a small value, but then it goes up to a slightly less small value, and then it goes up to like 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, and it starts to become really worthwhile. If you can get those skill flips over and over, it's worth going for. So I am actually in yet another poker corner mode, and this is a chip into chair. The goal is just to hit your drop targets. There are 2 modes in the game, 2 poker corner modes, where the goal is to hit drop targets. And those 2 modes, I never play out when I'm not in multi-ball. Preferably, you want to start those when you've got a multi-ball ready. I don't like to waste no limits multi-ball on them because they're not big points. And then again, if you start no limits multi-ball, you block yourself off from progressing through your cities. And it looks like we just started all-in multi-ball, which is something I haven't explained yet. There are spinners in the game. You've got the, left orbit and right orbit. And if you hit the spinners, you'll basically build a pot value. And if you get the pot value maxed out, you'll actually start all-in multi-ball. So building your spinners and orbits in this game is very important as well. It's another way to cascade from multi-ball into multi-ball. So I basically used all-in multi-ball to double drain. But ideally what you can do, maybe start a mode and then start all-in multi-ball and then use all-in multi-ball to either start no limits or ace in the hole multi-ball. All-in multi-ball is really nice because every shot's basically lit for jackpots. The jackpots do start off small, like they might be in the 100,000 or 200,000 range. But if you can play it out, the value keeps rising on those jackpots. I've had all-in jackpots worth something around 600 or 700,000 points per shot. So it's really good to know where you are in the all-in, towards the all-in multi-ball. All-in multi-ball, you can also use it to progress through modes, cities, prepping ace in the hole multi-ball, etc., etc. So we're actually in poker hand multi-ball now. So I've actually gotten to show you guys quite a bit in this gameplay session. I didn't do as well as I wanted, but still we got to see a lot. And I'm pretty sure the game's going to end right after this. And we got the ball in the upper playfield still. I believe we started ace in the hole there. And we need to actually advance our poker hand again to basically qualify our Poker Wizard multi-ball, but it's not going to happen. Spoiler alert. So a couple more things I forgot to explain is, again, you've got this 3 times multiplier. And there's a death save and a tilt. Death saving is actually really hard to do on World Poker Tour for me, so I don't recommend trying it. And so yeah, you can get 3 times shots on your in lanes. If you hit an in lane with a white insert lit, any shot for the next 3 seconds you make will be worth 3 times. So that's really important to know as well if you have a super jackpot coming up or an advanced city coming up. And yeah, I've pretty much explained most of what there is to explain. I didn't really talk about the modes that much, unfortunately, but yeah, I hope you guys still enjoyed this video regardless. If you have any questions or comments, post them in the comment section below. And thanks for watching, guys. I hope it's been helpful. So take it easy.